All right, guys. Let's look at some clouds. Let's talk weather. How's everybody doing today? I'm gonna let this load up right quick, and I'm gonna talk about some of the stuff you know, gonna be talking about as we go forward. But just a couple of things that I noticed right off the bat that kind of seemed a little weird to me. It leads me to believe there are several areas that over the next coming days, maybe the next like week and a half, 2 weeks, but I don't know. Judging by what I'm seeing, I would say over the next coming days, like maybe the next 2 to 4 days, some of the stuff might start popping off. I'm just gonna give this a moment to load up, and then we're gonna talk. Oh boy. All right. So let's go back here. Let's start with the first one. So I need this to load up too. Come on, work with me. Okay, so if we zoom in and we go up here by Juneau, Alaska, you can see this area of rotation right here, which is not one to load in 100% because AccuWeather is being a little fucky right now. And I ain't saying anything bad about them. I'm just saying sometimes the radar takes a moment to load up. I use it a lot. Practically anytime I'm wanting to see the clouds and seeing what's going on, I look at AccuWeather. But I just want y'all to look at this. Okay, so you see how this is doing this. You got something kind of coming in, swirling into it. Then you got some stuff coming off it, going down. And then it looks like, kind of like you have some upper level clouds going like this. Now let's go over to the mainland USA, where all this is going on. So you see how all this upper level stuff is kind of going like that? You and then you see all this shit firing off over here. I see potential for some bad weather in the near future right here with this. I'm just saying cuz it looks like you got some cooler air coming down. I know we already have a lot of like smoke and haze over the land just because of some of the wildfires up in Canada. By the way, I hope everything, turns out good for you guys up there cuz that's got to be rough. But you see how like there's these upper level clouds coming in and then all this shit over here on the, Pacific coast essentially. Then all of a sudden you have all this stuff firing off. But look at these clouds right here that is, in between like Salem and Cheyenne. Just look. Just take a moment and look. So you notice how it's starting to like part of it's going up and then starting to go like this because you can see that when you go over by Bismarck, and then it starts going like that. But then there's a part at the bottom that's going like this and then starting to go like this and then like that as well. Then it's starting to kind of shift back down a little bit and then kind of follow the track of this system that just come through recently, which apparently now also has another area of rotation right here. I think this system up here is kind of working as a conveyor belt feeding into this right here and then what's left of this system of clouds. As for this up here, I don't quite know what's going to happen with it. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I can tell you this. If this dips down far enough south as all this stuff starts to fire off and collides with any of this, we might have another extratropical cyclone or mid-latitude cyclone on our hands. However, I don't think that's going to happen right now. What I think is going to happen, just based off what I'm seeing, I mean, definitely down south, y'all are already getting pummeled. By the way, I hope, again, for all the people that have been affected by the storms down there, there were so many I can't keep track, but I hope that y'all get the help that y'all need. I'm trying to point out some stuff early on before it gets worse and more bad things start to happen to people. These clouds over here is my next concern, because I really think that this could go from good, bad, worse in a heartbeat if it has the right ingredients to do so. And if these just keep on firing off right here, like all this stuff right here is stationary, but it keeps on flinging into it, and then it just keeps on building up more and more clouds, and then they start going this way. And then if this kind of hangs out right here, which I don't think this is going to hang out much longer, eventually it's going to start moving that way. But what if this one dips down and then takes its place as all this is starting to do this, and then attaches a tail and then starts flinging stuff up that direction again over the next coming days? Like, I see potential for that. I know they did say, at least from what I saw, it was like on June 1st to June 2nd, I saw something that said a good portion of Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Illinois, and I think even parts of Indiana were under, potential for, increased supercellular activity. And I think this is going to be what's going to cause it. I hope not. But if things keep on playing out like they're playing out, because, I mean, look at this. And also another thing, too. This right here, you see where it says Mexico? You got some stuff firing off right there. So what if this stuff that's kind of like dipping down like this starts to kind of like, pick up just a little bit and maybe stay a little more along the land? And then whatever's firing off over Mexico makes its way into the Gulf of Mexico, and then potentially starts spinning is what I'm worried about with that right there, because it's very, very close to the Gulf of Mexico and the southern tip of Texas. So if anything, the southern tip of Texas might start feeling some heat from some of this down here. I mean, the western part's already doing that. A good portion of Texas has already been getting pummeled lately. The South is already getting pummeled. Louisiana, southern Mississippi, Alabama. I think some of this stuff is starting to move into Georgia, but it looks like it's going to be southern Georgia. But the brunt of it right now is in western Texas, and I think southeastern New Mexico. Wow. That's interesting. All I'm saying is to the weather people out there, we got a lot of stuff we need to keep an eye on. And something else too, when I pointed something else out, this area down here on the Caribbean Sea, I don't know necessarily if this is going to start developing into like a hurricane, or it is starting to balloon up, like it's developing rapidly. I just don't know what the wind shear parameters are on the Caribbean Sea, and if that would allow for it to be able to do that. But if it does go out in the Caribbean Sea, starts going towards, let's say, Cuba, and maybe banks a left and then goes into the Gulf, that's not good. I think it could do that. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying I think it could. And for those of you out there that can monitor this type of stuff a lot better than I can and have a lot more access to tools and, time to do that, I would recommend doing it. Just based off of what I'm seeing here. Cuz this is satellite data. And this right here is the next threat for the mainland. It may start to fizzle out at some point as the sun starts to go down, but if all this is still here and this little swirly bit up there is still there and it's still flinging stuff this direction, and there's all this cloud cover which has a whole crap ton of moisture and it's still kind of feeding into all this, it's going to not to be very good over the next coming days. And that's really all I wanted to point out. I don't want to take up too much of anyone's time. I'm just saying that this is what I see could happen, just based off of the radar signatures and the clouds and whatnot. So please stay weather aware and pay attention. And National Weather Service, AccuWeather, anyone who looks at stuff like this, keep an eye on it, because this one might do something nasty. I'm hoping not, but June may go out with a bang, and this might be the bang. It may not be the last one either. I hope if it does go bang, it's the last bang of the season, because we all need a break, especially Oklahoma, down south, and parts of southwest Missouri, southeast Kansas, northwest Arkansas. Y'all definitely need a break. I got a little taste of some of this stuff recently around March, April, and May in southeast Missouri and parts of Illinois when I was on my way home. I know how nasty some of this stuff can get, and in all seriousness, I'm just trying to warn people of something I think is a potential danger, and I really just want to save lives. That's why I'm opening my mouth and I'm saying something about this now, because this is, again, what I see could happen, and I'm hoping it's not gonna happen. But y'all, again, to the people out there that have access to certain things that can kind of figure out whether it's likely or not, you guys can program your machines to do certain things and plug in certain data and track certain shit going on to figure out if anything I'm saying holds any weight. And I'm hoping it doesn't. But just in case it does, I would look into it. But that's all I gotta say. With that being said, y'all stay up, stay blessed, be positive, and kick misery in the throat of mouth. Peace.